All right, so I'm going to talk to you about the Chorder tool inside of PreSonus Studio One. So the Chorder tool is part of the note effects that were dropped in version 3. And I've heard a lot of people say that they don't really know how to use the Chorder tool, or at least they don't know how to use it in a way that really kind of brings some sort of any value to their workflow. And, I think it's actually a really powerful tool once you kind of get used to it and know how to use it. So I'm going to give you a little demo of it, kind of show you the way that I use it, and hopefully it gives you some creative ideas. Let's get started with the demo here. I'm going to drop a Chorder tool onto an instrument track. So I got an instrument track already loaded up with Omnisphere. I'm just going to basically just drop a Chorder tool right on top of it. And now I have a Chorder tool. So actually, let me bypass it really quickly so you can kind of just hear what the plugin sounds like without any note effects on it. Let me turn the Chorder tool back on here, and let's run through this UI real quick. So what the Chorder tool does, it allows you to map multiple notes to a single note, which is great for people who don't play much piano or who don't have much music theory background. That's kind of the boat that I fit into, so this tool actually helps me a lot. So down here at the bottom are the keys that you're mapping to, right? So I have these notes down here, and right now they're not playing any sounds because I don't have anything mapped. So take this note right here, C2. If I wanted to map something to it, I could map as many notes as I wanted to, and they would appear up here, all right? So this is where your mappings are, and this is the key that's triggering those mappings, all right? So to kind of see how this works is we can just pull up one of these presets that PreSonus already has. So now when I play some of these keys on my keyboard, I'm playing them through a MIDI, my MIDI controller that I have here. You can see that I have a bunch of chords mapped. And it's kind of cool, like just kind of playing with these keys and just kind of playing through the preset. I can start getting an idea going, at least an inspiration. So, I could just start jamming on these keys. And, it's a good way to get started. But to be honest with you, I don't really like using these presets too much. I have another way that I work with the Chorder tool, and I'll show you that in a second. But before we get into that, let me just show you the rest of the interface, just in case you don't know what any of this other stuff does. I'll explain it to you really quickly so you have a better idea how to use this tool. So this bar up here is the key range slider, and what the key range slider does, it defines the area where the Chorder tool is going to be active. All right. So outside of this area, where you don't have the key range slider, you can still play notes, and it's just kind of one-to-one, just the way that it would be without the Chorder tool, right? But when you play inside of the active range, if you have keys mapped, then they'll play. So what you can do is, if you don't want that, if you want to turn these notes off on the outside, you can just hit filter outside right here, and now I can't play anything outside. All right. Okay. So this key range, you can sort of pull it up here, or you can modify it here down in the bottom right. When you have a blank space right here, that means no keys are mapped. So I'm playing these keys, but nothing's happening because I don't have a mapping. This little orange square that's filled in, that means you have an active mapping. So, right? So all these keys over here, I can play chords, but these keys have nothing. So this option right here, autofill, what that does is it creates this little orange square to show you there is now a mapping, but it's auto mapped. So you see now it's playing something, and the way that it determines it takes the shape of the sort of lowest key, and then it just kind of transposes it up and keeps that shape, and then applies it to this key up here. So maybe it's a good way if you want to just define one shape and then kind of pull out a range and then sort of spread it across the keys. I don't really use it too much, but it's there if you need it. And then so this last thing here on the bottom is transpose, which is pretty straightforward. But you'll see I have this mapping for this key on C2. If I pull up the range, you'll see it's actually moving it over to the right here, and I can also pull it back down. You'll see it moved it over to the left. So it's a way if you want to sort of map, match this mapping to your song key, and you can kind of move it up and down, which is helpful. Okay, so the real power, I think, of this tool is actually, I think it's actually in the learn mode. And what the learn mode is, it allows you to define custom mappings. So the presets are cool, but I actually use this in a different way, and I make heavy use of this learn mode. So let's start with a blank slate here, and I'm just going to show you how easy it is to map a new chord. So it couldn't be any simpler. The Presoners did a great job. They made this simple interface, and it's just super quick to map chords. And that's kind of the basis of the way that I use this thing creatively. So just to show you really quickly, so say I have these, say I have this this key C2, right? And just for simplicity's sake, let's just map a just basic C major chord onto it, right? The 1-3-5 right there. Okay, so to do this, what you do is you click Learn Mode, and the key, one of these keys down here gets highlighted, right? So this key right here is in orange. So what I'm going to do with my mouse is I'm going to click on the key I want to map. Okay, and then now with my keyboard, my MIDI keyboard, I'm going to actually just play the chord that I want to be assigned to this key, right? So I just played my C chord, and you can see just like that, it's already mapped, and that's all we need to do. So you go out of Learn Mode, and right there, I have a mapping. So it really couldn't be any simpler than that. Now the cool thing is you can come in here, you can click Learn Mode, right? And you can just, if you want to, you can add stuff. You can add stuff with your mouse too. So if you want to take this just basic C major and just make it into a C major 7, I can go in here, add the 7th chord, or the 7th note, sorry, the B, and now I have a major 7 chord. So inside the Learn Mode, you have this option. You could clear this chord if you wanted to. You could copy and paste it, or you could just clear the whole thing, right? So it's really simple, honestly, to do this. So I could copy this, like say, now let's go over a D, and I can paste, and just like that. Now I have C and D map. So I'm actually going to stop here. If you just wanted the basic overview of the tool, this is it. I kind of showed you all the features of it. And a lot of the videos kind of describing the Chorder tool, if you check out some the other ones, they basically will just stop right here. But I think the real cool thing about the Chorder tool is the way that you could use it in your productions and in your writing, in like a super creative and inspirational way. And I think that I would like to show that to you. So if you want to see see some more advanced uses of this thing and really get some creative tips and tricks, go ahead and follow through to this next video. Link is right here on the screen. And I'll kind of show you how I actually use it in my productions, and I'll kind of take you through writing a song with the Chorder tool.